right now.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Extremely strong. Like his early and mid game spikes are still really, really high, and then late game, his ultimate is one of the best team fighting ults in the game.
My darkness was not born. It was forged by my prison.
I could choose him level 1, it's good though. We'll try.
Minions have spawned.
These Blood Moon Splash is so beautiful, it doesn't belong in League. Plenty of splash arts that are really, really, really good. I would disagree with the notion that it doesn't belong in League. Damn, if Alistar skilled Q, I feel like that would have been a pretty good fight. Well, I guess it worked out. The Lucian flashed over and got greedy. I'll try and take push. Honestly, I think Rumble just needs ECD reduction and then some attack speed shaved off of his passive and he'll be a fine champion. I do think nerfing Q is like IMO necessary too, but I'd let it slide if they didn't. If they gave his E like a, 9-second cooldown or something per recharge, I think that would be reasonable. It's just simply too low of a cooldown right now. Like, look at how many he spammed. He can literally keep his heat up pressing just E. And I mean, he hits me with Q for half a second and I lose 150 health. Which is obviously also IMO, not okay. He's using Q on very high heat here. This is my opportunity to crash the wave. Oh, he overheated. Nice. So far he's managed his heat very poorly. I shouldn't have gone for that hard trade. He's almost gonna kill me here. I'm gonna try and get him to bounce the wave back with pressing Q on me here. Unfortunately, he's not managing his heat very well at all. He's using his spells extremely liberally, which is good for me.
Rising neural phoenix fire. Zap action.
I am the god.
I don't use my Qs in the big wave here unless he uses his spells. Like right now I can fish because the wave also reset, but for the most part I'm happy having the wave bounce to me and just catching. I don't want to fight too hard here. Unless he keeps his heat that high. Then I do want to fight. The reason why, if he keeps his heat this high when I'm this high health, he can't kill me. Unless he like hits all his auto attacks and I can just kite that. But when he's lower heat, he can just chunk me with the first set of cooldowns, and then he can all-in me on the next, and he just beats the shit out of me. Because my cooldowns are much longer than his, so you want to manage your heat in a way where you're staying below 60, basically. Oh, that's a kill. How much you can do unless he... He went for the pins out there. She didn't flash in time. Time to recall. Nice, that was huge. I was gonna flash the Belvet W if she threw it at me, but she didn't, so I guess I just get to live. I'd say this is almost always a Gore Drinker game. A bit sketchy to do full AD like this. Considering I don't think he ignited me, but I'm about to hit 6 and he has no flash, so there's a good chance I can one-shot him with this much AD. Same thing, he's way too high heat, this Rumble, so it's easy for me to walk past him. That was a nice sidestep. If I hit that Q combo, I can chunk him and then he'll die on the next one. Same thing. I mean, every time basically he has his heat above 100, that means he can only use 3 spells. If he's above 120, he can only use 2 spells. That's how you should be looking at Rumble. So whenever Rumble is using his spells and he's above that heat, it's really good to look for fight. It's your best timing, basically. 130 means he has only 1 spell right now. 190, 90 is 3. Oh, up to 4 if he uses his E properly, because it resets itself, so keep that also in mind. 90 ult the wave, time to let it crash.
An enemy has been slain.
I can base here, I can stay one more and push. I think I'll push this next one and then I'll decide what to do. If I can get this wave and I get phage, there's a really nice spike on AATROX because it works in his Qs, so just gives you a lot, well, not a lot of extra healing, but over the course of an all-in with how your ultimate works, it increases all sources of healing, so it's quite nice actually. He has swiftness, which makes it hard to hit Qs, but also, to me, like right now, if you go swiftness instead of like actual raw damage, like Oblivion Orb or Hextech Revolver item, like Hextech thingy, whatever item. What is it called? I'll find it. That pretty much concedes the lane. I think he's down to farm, and if he's down to farm, I'm down to farm because I scale much better. Especially this game, they're all melee except for Lucian, and that's a short range champ. So my champ just in general, this game is really strong. He ignited before he died. Oh, no. I wasn't sure. When you go swiftness boots, the bigger reason it's a big deal against AATROX is because it makes it hard for me to yank the chain on my W. That's worth. He has no ult to reset the wave right now. So if I use my ultimate to chunk him, it's already in a good spot. I can't all in and kill him unless he plays aggressive anyway, because like I said, with swiftness boots he can just play to run away from me. I don't have flash to kill him, I don't have anything. A lot of action happened bottom side and Bel'Veth wasn't there, that usually means Bel'Veth is top. Well, Ashe made it very easy for me to tell. But I wanted to crush this wave and run anyway, so we're chill. I'm gonna ward this Herald here, because if she does it alone right now, I can kill her. She probably doesn't want to do it yet, because she needs level 6 to get the true form. But it's still worth looking. Getting information now and then continuing to maintain my push top will translate into getting it eventually. I want to plate here, because that'll speed up the timing I get my Gore Drinker, which is obviously a huge spike. When he overheats like that, you can play much more aggressive. So this wave I crush, and I'll go by Gore Drinker most likely. Unless there's something to play for topside, I'll slap the Herald. Gore Drinker, so we can do our top camps whilst it's warded. Cast it in his priority mid, and my mid jungle is really strong, so basically with this in consideration, I feel confident to take a recall by my Gore Drinker and then come late to the fight, because they can stall time / even win by themselves without me, because they're really strong. If they're not so strong, I could stay and hit the Herald with my jungler and keep Prow top, but buying Gore Drinker as soon as possible means there's a longer period of time within the game I have my strongest spike. Look at it this way, if I do this wave and then I move Herald and then I stay for another wave, for example, and that's 45 seconds that Rumble doesn't have to lane against Gore Drinker. Whereas the sooner I base and go by it, the faster I make him have to play against Gore Drinker. And this item changes my champion significantly. He had to flash that. I was contemplating flashing, but if I hit that Q2E, then my Zinzao is thinking he's on his way. So, or if he flashes the Q2E, then I know Zinzao is coming to finish him off. So I was pretty confident to just let him flash it, and then we're fine. He also used his ult during the fight, so he can't deny me. He can't deny us the minion wave either. Oh wait, no. I just want to recall here. Yeah, it was flush actually. I fucked up pinging. Yeah, it's flush. Wow, I didn't reach. Makes me sad. He was too zoomy. This time he's expected it, so I went for the flash, but he was fast as fuck, so he got out. Sucks to be me. That damage? Yeah, AATROX has a lot of damage at level 9 when he has a spike. This is generally the strongest point of the game. Q is your only damage skill, really. Well, obviously R makes it better, but you're not going to spike harder than this on AATROX, so this is definitely going to be your strongest point in any game. Well, other than like if you go a Duskblade build, then you can spike harder, like 3 items when you go like lethality, Srildas. But for the most part, that's because you're building one-shot build, you know? You're not really building to thingy. 2 flashes with Tart there, I could TP on them if I'm looking. I will walk down the Drake here. Like I mentioned, this is still one of my biggest spikes, so time to go participate in the game. Deep ward here, and then I'm gonna hover for midwave. Wow, that was... I would say unnecessary. If he sidesteps towards my Alistar, then he gets comboed. Probably a bit of a throw there, honestly, but worked out. I think it was a bit too much, especially with the way the fight went. I think if Silas moved, he could have cleaned up a few people. Like in general, if they were all there, you know? I took too much damage for free from Lucian. I can just take over the lane here.
Come closer. I will show you. Always forward. Calling redistrict. I will render these mortal forms into my own.
I'll hover into top side here. I don't mind the castings, but we should stop. Just I don't want to stay mid right now. Meanwhile, Rumble is roaming, and potentially there's going to be a lot of people mid. Zinzal's doing his bot camps. Castings going top. If I stay on this mid wave and show, then there's a really good chance that they're just going to try and force a gank on me. Flash after all. And if Bel'Veth and Rumble both roam on me, there's a chance they kill me. Wow. I didn't QE there because I didn't realize she had a dash angle. Really nice arrow though. Time to recall. It's a good amount of Q stack to be getting on Nasus per minute. Any. As long as winning lane is more important than getting stacks, so just try to win lane as much as you can. Don't worry about stacks so much. If you're winning lane with Qmax Nasus, you'll get stacks eventually. Don't tunnel vision on the amount of stacks, it's really inconsequential. You could have 200 stacks at 20 minutes and be strong as Nasus because you have Divine Sunder and like you have a lot of gold, so you get your items really quickly. And you could have 600 stacks and be generally pretty weak because you haven't been playing the game and fighting. Like, what matters more is that you fight around your like, power spikes in mid game than it is to like have the perfect amount of stacks, you know? So like, I'd rather have 300 stacks of 20 minutes and be like 4, 2, and like 3 assists with like 7 kill participation than 600 stacks of 20 minutes with 0 kill participation. Because your champion doesn't scale for shit. A third item, people have penetration items and you die like really easily. Especially when they have cleanse as well. And when they don't have cleanse, you can definitely use Wither on AD carries and that can be really good. But for the most part, it's just my mindset when I play Nasus. You're really strong around levels 11 especially, and then levels 11, that's your rank to ultimate. Level 13 where you get your maximum points in Wither, or well, a lot of points in Wither, you know, around that time basically. Like level 9 as well, same idea. Maxes points in Q. Like, these are your best timings to fight. You shouldn't really be tunnel visioning on getting so many stacks. Can you explain Rumble Heat Manage more? Basically, Rumble's cooldowns are so low that in an all-in, you're gonna get 2 spell cooldowns off anyway. Like, there's not many top laners that deal enough damage to kill you before you get 2 spells off. In fact, I would argue there's literally 0. Because your cooldowns are relatively low, especially once you start leveling up Q, right? With enough points in Q, you start dealing enough damage. Like, you basically enough points in Q down to 6-second cooldown, and your E is a 6-second cooldown, right? So, the point is over an all-in, which, let's say it would take... I'm gonna give you a random estimate of how long an all-in would take, right? One sec, let me kill this guy real quick first. I didn't make it over the wall. Oops. Oh, he's running this way though, so... My ACD is too low with Trojan, so I can just chase him like this. So what I was saying is in an all-in as Rumble, because your W cooldown's low, your Q cooldown's low, your E cooldown's low, you should look at it this way. You're gonna get 2 spells in an all-in regardless. 2 spell rotations. 100% guaranteed nearly, right? So when you are above 50 heat, how many spells do you need to overheat? 20 per spell, 5 spells. You can maximum cast 4 spells as Rumble. Because like, assuming you have 2 stacks of E within those 6 seconds, you can't really cast more than that. It's not possible. So the argument is that you stay around 50 heat, ideally on 50 exactly, because you want to cast 4 of those spells, almost overheat, but not overheat. Chunk your opponent really hard, and then you want to overheat. One moment, let me finish off the fight here. That is the idea, basically. Because then you overheat on your next set of cooldowns. And because of the way Rumble E works, you can cast the E with a grace period. So you can cast E, overheat, and then when your second stack of E comes online, you can cast E again. But that's even like inconsequential again. It doesn't matter, because the point is, above 50 heat, your spells deal 50% more damage, or something bullshit like that. It's like 50 or something, I think. So you want to get 2 50 Fury Qs off instead of no 50 Fury Q. Oh, Fury, sorry. I'm talking about Renekton here. Oh, I got ditched. I came to help him and he just fucking ditched me. I'm sad now. But that's the idea. It's as simple as that. So let's say you deal in an all-in and you overheat first, and then you use your second set of cooldowns, right? And you will deal, I don't know, let's say 1,000 damage. Now, because assuming that both sets of our cooldowns will deal, well, our first set of cooldowns will deal 50% more than after, because again, that's how Rumble works. I didn't, you know, choose that to be the way. You want to stay below that heat, because if you overheat first, then your second set of cooldowns is going to be low heat instead of high heat. And if they're low heat, you deal 50% less damage. So instead of doing 1,500 damage, or, you know, let's say 1,250, you deal 1,000 damage. The difference isn't massive. Because again, like, well, it's pretty massive, to be honest. It's 50% of your damage, you know? Like, losing out on 50% of your damage because you're just not really understanding how Rumble works, or how the current Rumble works. Because in the past, Rumble was different, because you couldn't spam spells and get the right heat fast enough, like you can now. Now he actually doesn't mind overheating. The problem is if you overheat, you're like at the peak of your strength, like absolute peak, and then after your overheat, you're here. Whereas if you stay high heat, you're like not at the peak of your strength in terms of single target damage, but the only difference between overheating and not overheating in terms of damage output is simply whether you can auto attack your opponent or not. Because if you can auto attack your opponent, you can get the max health damage from the basics. But if you don't get the max health basics, there's no difference between queuing above 50 heat or below.